The preterite tense, also known as el preterito in Spanish, is one of the two past tenses in the Spanish language. It has two main sets of endings, the AR and the ER and IR. For the AR endings, yo has the ending e, tú has the ending aste, usted, él, ella has the ending o, nosotros has the ending amos, vosotros is astais, ellos and ustedes is aron, and the ER and IR forms, yo is I, tú is iste, él, ella, usted is yo, nosotros is imos, vosotros is istes, and ellos y ustedes is ieron. To form the tense, you will remove the ending of the infinitive and add the corresponding preterite ending. So in the case of hablar, the ending of this infinitive is AR. So you would remove the AR and add the appropriate ending, one of these endings. For the yo form, hablar would go to hablé, because the E or A is the correct ending in this instance. For escribir, you would take off that IR and add the appropriate ending. For yo, it would be escribí. Deber, you would remove the ER and add the appropriate ending. It's again I. Debí for the yo form. The preterite tense has some common irregular stems. Stems are the part of the verb that do not include the ending, the endings are AR, ER, and IR. So the stem normally would be AND and the verb andar. But for the preterite tense, it has a new stem, anduv, which you would add the appropriate endings to. Andar means to walk, and anduv is the appropriate stem for the preterite tense. Estar changes to estuv, to be. Tener changes to tuv, to have. Caber, cup. Haber, ub. Poner, pud. Poner, pus. Saber, sup. Hacer, ik. Querer, quis. Venir, vin. You should probably write down these stems so that you can memorize them, so that when you see these verbs, you will know that they have irregular endings. Here are two examples of the irregular verbs, estar and querer. As you may notice, they also have different endings from the normal verbs. These remain true for most irregular verbs in the preterite tense. So you use the new stem and add the irregular endings. You should probably write down these examples for reference and the irregular endings so that you remember them for the future. So for estar, estuve, estuviste, estuvo, estuvimos, estuvistes, estuvieron. For querer, quise, quisiste, quiso, quisimos, quistes, quisieron. Another example of an irregular occurrence in the preterite tense is with verbs that end in CER, like hacer. In this case, the C changes to a Z in the third person singular, or the él, ella, usted form, that leaving hacer to be hizo in the third person singular part of the preterite tense. Another irregular verb, ser, to be, has a completely different conjugation, not even following the rules of the irregular preterite verbs. This you will just have to memorize. It follows a pretty good pattern, but it doesn't really follow any patterns that other verbs follow in the preterite. So yo fui, tú fuiste, él fue, nosotros fuimos, vosotros fuisteis, ellos fueron. Once again, you should probably write this down to memorize for future reference. Now that you've heard about conjugating in the preterite, try to conjugate these words. Beware of the irregulars. You should pause the video here and try to answer these questions. Okay, I am going to show you the answers now. If you have not paused the video, you should do so now. So for the vosotros form, hablar is hablastes, estar is estuve in the yo. For tú, hacer is hiciste. Nosotros, amar is amamos. Beber and ellos is bebieron. Vivir, ella is vivió. Tener, usted is tuvo. Hacer, él is hizo, like we talked about before. Querer, ellos is quisieron. If you would like more practice, you can conjugate. You can choose any verb in the Spanish language and try to conjugate it to the best of your ability. And then you can check with wordreference.com. All you have to do is click on the Spanish conjugator and type in the verb to check and make sure that your work is correct. Be careful when using the site because they use extra pronouns that are not typically used and that I haven't explained to you. Don't let that confuse you. All of the other, you can just focus on the 6 pronouns that we've talked about in our videos, unless your teacher says otherwise. I hope this helped you learn a little bit about the preterite in Spanish, and if you have any questions, you can comment below. If you're looking for a video about the difference between the imperfect and the preterite, you can click on that and watch that video, and enjoy learning Spanish.